Hi, my name is Dan Betzel, and I really want to thank you for taking time to participate in our investor video series. And I thought I'd begin with a little bit of background information about myself and our firm. And before I became a full-time financial advisor, I actually practiced estate and tax law. And when I was practicing law, I had the opportunity to work with numerous financial advisors all across the city and all across the state. And I learned a lot about some wonderful financial advisors and how they approach the business. And I wanted to take those experiences I had along with my legal and tax background, and I wanted to put them together in a format that was really going to make a difference in people's lives. And that's when I created my financial planning firm. Well, I want to share with you what's been my experience meeting with literally hundreds of clients over the last several decades, what they've shared with me, what their goals are for themselves and their families. And almost every client I speak with tells me that they want the American dream for themselves and their families. When I ask them what they mean by that, they almost all say the exact same things. I want my children and my grandchildren to have a better life than I had myself. And it's a real privilege for me to help people realize that dream. They also share that they want a retirement with their spouse with less stress. And if they're able to move into their retirement years with confidence and a sense of a financial peace of mind, that does wonders toward getting rid of the stress in their lives. You know, most people want an active retirement. They're very interested in travel and engaging in all kinds of other activities, and they want to do that without the fear of running out of money. And it's really exciting for me when I can help people prepare a retirement income report and they can leave with a sense of confidence, that their plan is going to enable them to have an active retirement and not be overly concerned with running out of money. Now, everyone knows that there are pressures, geopolitical pressures, economic pressures that impact a person's financial future, and clients want to be certain that we've taken into account the various market ups and downs and possible geopolitical events, and they know that their plan can weather the storm. And probably most importantly, there's so much information, 24/7 media, computer, internet, information, stock prices are available on your phone all the time. Clients want a way to know that they can discern noise from actual good advice. And if I can help someone learn to discern the difference between noise and good advice, I will feel I really have helped them and assisted them in achieving, the dream that they want for themselves and for their family and for their financial future. Now, there are things that stand in between what all of our clients want for their financial future and their ability to achieve them. And so I call these, some common challenges or obstacles that I talked with clients, and we try to find ways to help address these obstacles, to mitigate them, and sometimes maybe even to push them aside so they can move forward with pursuing their financial future. Since 2008, of course, it's not that long ago, people fear another market correction, a market crash. And what can we do to mitigate that possibility and very high probability? Clients also have a fear of being misled. Sometimes they don't even know the right questions to ask, or they ask wrong questions, and there's so much misinformation and confusion that comes from the media. Clients really don't even understand often how much risk is in their portfolio. They feel that they might be a conservative investor, and they don't understand why in 2008 they lost 40%. Well, if you're a conservative investor and you lost 40% in your portfolio in 2008, you didn't have a conservative portfolio. And if you can understand the risk that's in your portfolio and you can be certain that that risk is not excessive for your goals, that can go a long way toward achieving financial peace of mind. Excessive fees and underperformance. Clients have no idea all of the internal and external fees that may be associated with their mutual funds and their other investment products. And it is really an exciting process for me to work with clients and to show them what their real fees are, because if I can help them lower the fees, I can increase their performance, right? Just doing something no more complex than lowering the fees. Emotional mismanagement. We all have emotions and we make emotional decisions all the time. Emotions are very, very powerful. My guess is, if you're married, that when you decided to marry your spouse, you did it significantly based on emotion. And that probably, I hope, was a very good decision for you. But if you're not aware of the emotions that surround investing, and you're not conscious of them, and you're not able to use them properly, it can cause serious problems for you. And of course, maybe the greatest challenge that investors face are being able to identify and eliminate the myths behind proper and prudent portfolio management. So, I'm going to give you a real-life example of how all this can come together. I recently met with a widow, and understandably, she had gone through a very, very difficult, tragic time in her life, and she was overwhelmed and very stressed out about her future, and her husband had taken care of most of the finances in the past. And she went around and visited numerous advisors. And each advisor that she talked to, she actually left, more confused than the other. She had less clarity. And she's a very intelligent woman, professor at a local university, and she said, I'm going to use my educational background, I'm going to figure this out. So she went online, and she did some online research, and she told me she just threw her hands up in frustration. Just so much information, and she couldn't figure the way forward. Now, her brother heard me speak at the Ohio State Bar Association, and he brought her in to see me, and I'm so glad that he did, because I was able to agree with her that the financial planning process, it can be overwhelming and intimidating, and this information overload often leads to a total inability to know what to do. So I took her through our process, and I told her that the good news is that if you know the right questions to ask, you don't really have to know all there is to know out there. And by knowing the right questions to ask, you're going to find the right answers. And so at this initial meeting, I took her through the 20 must-answer questions. Now, some of these questions are very technical in nature, and some are more philosophical, your beliefs about money. And the beauty is that with each question that we discussed, her body began to relax, and she began finally to see a way forward. After this very, very important first step is completed, we then move to what I call the portfolio MRI. Now, we're all familiar with MRI in the medical field. The MRI it's a process that allows the doctor or doctors to see what's really going on inside of a body, human body. Without that MRI, they're often just guessing. It's no different in the financial field. A portfolio MRI is a process that allows us to look deep inside of the MRI, deep inside of the portfolio. And when we look deep inside of the portfolio, we can see clearly, the holdings, what's actually in the portfolio, the diversification. I've had clients that have told me, I'm very well diversified because I own 10 different mutual funds. Well, if each of those mutual funds owns the same stocks and bonds, then you just have a lot of stuff. You don't have true diversification. The amount of risk, this is so crucial that clients truly understand the amount of risk that's in their portfolio. They're able to see clearly the hidden costs and the fees and the turnover costs. And by looking at the portfolio on this level, you can truly see where you are. And once you see where you are, you have a greater clarity about your current position, and you have the ability then to see where you want to move going in the future. So, what are the results that happened in this meeting? Well, we had greater clarity of her current situation. Like I said, the portfolio MRI gave her the ability to see what was truly going on in the portfolio. The 20 must-answer questions gave her a sense of a roadmap of the proper questions to ask, and a renewed sense of confidence for the future, and a roadmap of how to get there. Because if you know the right questions to ask, you will be able to find your way to the solutions and to the right answers. And what really, of course, made me very, very happy as an advisor is after we finished this process, she was empowered to move forward. And she was no longer stuck in inaction. So, success was the result of this process that we follow with each one of our clients. And it begins with a true investor inventory. And a part of that true investor inventory, it's much more than just a list of your assets and what you own. It's built around these 20 must-answer questions, because until you can answer these 20 must-answer questions, you're really not in a position to know where you are and where you want to move in the future to reach your vision of the future, which usually includes one of those things we talked about at the beginning, reclaiming your American dream. Second step, we do a portfolio MRI. It enables us to look deep inside the portfolio to see what's really going on, and allows you, probably for the first time ever, to truly see how your portfolio is designed and how it's functioning, how much risk is in there, and what you're actually paying in fees. As I said, it shows us the diversification, the amount of risk, and the hidden costs that you're actually paying in those fees. So, step one is determining what you know and determining what you don't know that you don't know. Now, if I were going to ask you a question, I often ask clients this in a meeting, could you please tell me something that you don't know that you don't know? They kind of look at me funny because you can't tell me something that you don't know that you don't know. But if I can lead you through a process that is going to be able to illuminate some area of your financial life that you don't know, that will be very, very powerful experience for you. And once you realize something that you didn't know, you now can take that newfound information, that new level of financial consciousness, and you can use it to make really, really good decisions. So, the 20 must-answer questions. I mentioned these several times during this video, and I am providing a link below that if you click on this link, I will send you the 20 must-answer questions. And I want you to take some time, and I want you to go through each of these questions and answer them. Now, when you take the quiz, you have to be very, very truthful with yourself. Because, for example, if the question says, are you aware of how much risk is in your portfolio? You only can answer yes to that question if you truly know an actual scientific number, a standard deviation that shows how much risk is in your portfolio. It's not enough just to say, well, I think I'm a conservative investor. So unless you can answer the question absolutely 100% yes, you have to give yourself a no. Now, I don't want you to feel bad when you take the test. I give this test to a lot of lawyers and accountants and other financial people, and it's not uncommon at all for someone to get a 4 or a 3. That's fine, because it's just a baseline. And once we know where you are, where your baseline is, we can work on the questions and the answers that you specifically need the answers to. Now, I want to thank you again for taking the time to work through this video, and I'm very, very excited about hearing some feedback from you. So after you've worked through the 20 must-answer questions, you'll be sure to leave any questions or comments you may have on the section below the screen here. And I'm personally going to read those questions and respond to you. And I'm very, very excited about learning about what your insights have been, any questions you may have. I want to create a community where we can all learn from each other. So please take some time to do that, because I'm really very excited about that part of this whole process. Now, you're also going to want to head over to your inbox, because the second video is waiting there for you. And in the second video, we're going to take some time and look at the most common investor myths that undermine investors' peace of mind. And I'm going to be able to pull back the curtain a little bit for you and show you the truth behind some of these myths. So thank you again so much for participating in this first video. I'm looking very forward to your comments and questions, and I'll see you in the next video series shortly. Thank you.